Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today I want to talk about Dungeons and Dragons, and I want to talk about Netflix's brand new show, Nobody Wants This. Fantastic little romantic comedy series, which is really excellent. I'm watching it specifically because it has Kristen Bell in it, and I have watched everything Kristen Bell has been in since Veronica Mars. Veronica Mars is an extremely important series to me. I really think it's fantastic. It's one of the best pieces of American art, and I absolutely love it. And I really enjoy Kristen Bell's work. She's also married to Dax Shepard, and I find her that a very interesting aspect of her, because he's been in recovery a huge amount of his life, and so she really loves him even though he's constantly in and out of recovery, and so that kind of means she's very sacrificial and very loving, very patient, interesting person, very interesting person. But this show is fantastic, and it brings up a topic. One of the reasons why I love Dungeons and Dragons is it puts us on the front line of every single cultural issue way, way, way before the rest of the culture arrives. And it continues to have deeper discussions on cultural issues. Dungeons and Dragons has deeper discussions on cultural issues because we're not just sitting back and watching something. Every other medium of art that Americans has ever produced puts the reader in the position of, oh, witness this art. Witness this art. It's not really important that you understand it, and there's no action call, right? Whereas Dungeons and Dragons is like, you need to witness this, you need to understand it, and you need to do it, right? Like, there are very real life lessons that are contained in any good Dungeon Master's campaign that need to be witnessed, understood, and executed, right? Unlike, whereas like, a lot of sitcoms are like, we don't care if you do anything or understand anything while you're watching this, right? And no, there are, and good Dungeons and Dragons actually Gygaxian Dungeons and Dragons campaigns simply don't allow that. They demand witness, understanding, and execution, right? And so what is the topic? I'm sorry, I buried the lead there. Let's get right into it. What is the topic? Is it appropriate to want your children to have children with people of your culture? It is absolutely not appropriate. So this is discussed very directly in, it is the actual whole topic of Nobody Wants This. So Noah is a rabbi, and Joanne, Kristen Bell's character, is a shiksa, which they define as a hot, non-Jewish blonde woman, right? Which perfectly describes Kristen Bell, right? So so basically, the young rabbi falls in love with the shiksa falls in love with the rabbi, and everybody on both sides of their lives are like, this should not happen, right? And so on the rabbi side, they're like, hey, you need to marry a Jewish girl and then have Jewish children because we're trying to repopulate our people. And you're like, oh, what do you mean repopulate your people? Yeah, like about 80 years ago, 6 million of us were killed in one place, right? So we need to repopulate. Okay, that seems fair. No, that you don't get to do that. You do not get to do that. You do not get to do that, right? No culture can say, we really want our people to marry our people so that they're more of our people. That is disgusting and completely inappropriate, and no one gets to do that now. We have a higher calling to people of the world, right? If you are a parent and you are Irish, if you are a parent and you are Caucasian, if you are a parent and you are Egyptian, if you are a parent and you want your kids to marry people from your land to have more of your people, that is disgusting and wrong, right? And this show is literally having this conversation because they're saying within the Jewish culture, this is still a conversation. And that they believe because they lost 6 million people 80 years ago, that excuses trying to marry their kids to people of their land. And that is completely inappropriate. That is completely inappropriate. Now, what's this got to do with Dungeons & Dragons? Everything. We just had this conversation, right? The Dungeons & Dragons VE Player's Handbook explains that for species, right, There are no more half orcs. There are no more half elves. It is whatever you want. It is air genasi and dwarf. It is elf and plasmoid. It is tiefling and Asamar, right? And so, and you can be half of whatever you want, and you can make the father any half, and you can make the mother any half. And then you are creating something new. And there are so many mixtures that the game doesn't even mechanically, it actually says you take one benefit from one side and one benefit from the other side. That is profound. That is a massive shift, right? And right now, with Dungeons & Dragons VE, brand new, right? We are creating species that have never existed. And that work is being done by the players and by the Dragon Masters and by the Dungeon Masters. That's incredible. That is absolutely incredible. And that's the right way to do it. So I feel the message of Nobody Wants This is no. I don't care if 6 million of your people were killed 80 years ago. You don't get to tell any of your children, go marry a people of our land. That is disgusting. That is horribly disgusting. People should be able to love anyone they wish from anywhere on the earth, right? As long as it's age appropriate, right? And so that's the issue, right? And Dungeons & Dragons is on the front line of this and never stops being on the front line of this, right? It had half elves and half orcs in 1974, and that was progressive for that time. Now it's regressive. And so now any species can be with any species. And what comes out the other end of that is literally being explored in Dungeons & Dragons today, as Dungeons & Dragons continues to be one of the most progressive forces on the planet. Every single word you just heard is my humble opinion. The important part is when I get to hear your humble opinion, when you get in the comments and send your traffic. Please consider like, subscribing, and have a fetch millennium.